Hey everybody, this is Meredith from Not Saying Anything to Paul McCartney. This is going to be SA64, and it was all going to be about playing on the pun of When I'm 64, the Beatles song, and I started to write a blog, and it was just about my relationship with being a fan of Paul McCartney's, how sometimes I'm more of a fan, and sometimes I'm not so big of a fan. It's just had to do with moods, basically, how sometimes you could be really into being a fan and sometimes you're really not. So it started off really well. It's just I felt like I wasn't really expressing myself very well, and I've just been really busy, so I thought I'd record SA64 as a podcast, which you're listening to now. Yeah, so the news this week, or recently, has been sadly that George Martin has passed away at age 90. And everyone's been reacting to that, and he truly was the fifth Beatle, and we will all miss him. Yeah, so a little bit of news was about how George Martin was working on it seemed like a documentary project that's going to be coming out at the end of the year, and it seemed like he recorded some things with Ringo Starr that's going to be in the TV special. And if you go to Wogblog online, you probably see more information about that because that was today's news. I thought I'd quickly read the news from the Evening Standard that came out on Wednesday, the 9th of March, and this was the print edition. I'll just read that article to you. Fifth Beatle, George Martin dies at 90. Paul and Ringo lead tributes to genius producer behind Fab Four. And the story was written by Alistair Forster, and he writes as follows: Ringo Starr and Sir Paul McCartney led tributes to Sir George Martin, the fifth, the record producer known. Let's try this again, ladies and gentlemen, because that did not sound right, and I can read a lot better than that. You see, this is why I should be writing, not reading. Anyway, let's start again. Ringo Starr and Sir Paul McCartney today led tributes to Sir George Martin, the record producer known as the fifth Beatle, after he died aged 90. Stars remembered the musical genius who gave the Beatles their first recording contract and produced almost all their music. He's said to have died peacefully at his home in London. He is survived by his second wife, Judy, and his 4 children. Beatles drummer Starr, 75, announced the news on Twitter, writing, "God bless George Martin. Peace and love to Judy and his family. Love, Ringo and Barbara. George will be missed." He also posted a picture of the Fab Four and Sir George with the caption, "Thank you for all your love and kindness, George. Peace and love." In a statement on his website, Sir Paul McCartney said, "I'm so sad to hear the news of the passing of dear George Martin. I have so many wonderful memories of this great man that will be with me forever. He was a true gentleman and like a second father to me. He guided the career of the Beatles with such skill and good humor that he became a true friend to me and my family. If anyone earned the title of fifth Beatle, it was George." So George's manager, Adam Sharp, said, "The family would like to thank everyone for their thoughts, prayers, and messages of support. In a career that has spanned several decades, he was an inspiration to many and is recognized globally as one of music's most creative talents. He was a true gentleman to the end." David Cameron said, "Sir George Martin was a giant of music, working with the Fab Four to create the world's most enduring pop music. As well as his work with the Beatles, Sir George produced more than 700 albums for artists including Cilla Black and Dame Shirley Bassey. Sir George was the son of a carpenter from Holloway and served in the Royal Navy before studying at the Guildhall School of Music, where he learned the piano and oboe. He played the oboe professionally in London before joining the recording industry. He was head of Parlophone when he signed the Beatles after hearing their demo tape in 1962, and during their career he arranged the string sections for songs such as Yesterday and A Day in a Life, as well as playing the piano solo on In My Life. He was honored with 2 Ivor Novello Awards, 6 Grammys, and 2 Brit Awards. He continued to write music, work with charities, and advise broadcasters until his death. Other stars who paid tribute to him today included Dame Shirley, who said, "I am extremely saddened to hear of George Martin's passing. His contributions to music was outstanding, and I'm privileged to have worked alongside George in the studio. My thoughts are with his family at this time." Piers Morgan tweeted, "Rip Sir George Martin, the fifth Beatle, producer extraordinaire, and musical genius." And that's the article, okay? So basically, I think I mean, I only bought this one article. Well, I didn't buy it because the Evening Standard is actually free, but I picked it up, and that was the one thing that I had read since his passing, and that's the one thing that's going to go into my collection of press clippings. Yeah, so the other thing we need to talk about is the fact that Paul McCartney announced a tour, which is wonderful for people who can actually get close enough to go see the tour. It's going to be in the United States, and some dates in Germany, and of course there was the festival dates in Belgium, and I forget where the other place was, but somewhere else in Europe. So those were the two festival dates. And now it's just been announced that he's going to be in Madrid. That's Madrid, people. Yeah. So Madrid, I was considering going, but then I remembered again that I do not have the money to go flying to Madrid, even though it's not terribly far away from me by plane. But if I can't fly to the United States to see Paul, there is no way I can even fly to Madrid. So hopefully soon he was going to announce some more tour dates, and anyone's guess if it's going to be anywhere in the UK. And if so, I might have to wait until, even if tickets go on sale, I may have to wait until I actually get some money. And then if I have to sit in the boondocks, as sometimes I do during his concerts, that's well okay. As long as I'm in the building, I'm a happy camper. And I suggest to others that if you happen to want to go to a Paul show that's near you somewhere, you might want to think about, this is just my suggestion, I'm just saying, do what you want, you got the money, go spend for your expensive tickets, whatever, but you can try entering as many contests as possible, because around the time of when these shows are going to be, a local radio station is going to have a contest. You can always try that. You can, there's a lot of clever ways that you can get tickets to the concert if you're not there, right immediately when the tickets go on sale. So try to chillax, if that's even a word anymore, and hopefully you will get to see a Paul show soon, or hopefully maybe they, I'm not saying that anyone said this, but maybe they might release one of the shows as a live concert. And speaking of live concerts, I've recently, that's not even a word, let's start again. I've recently been listening to Paul McCartney's live album, Good Evening New York City, yep, and it's from 2009, and it's actually quite interesting, and the reason I haven't listened to it in a while is because it actually comes with a DVD, and I cannot, speaking of what my original blog was supposed to be, there are certain things that turn me away from Paul from time to time. Doesn't mean I don't like him. It's just certain things that, people are supposed to like. I may not like it, and I take a little step back. So the thing is that this particular CD DVD package had a DVD with it, and I may have watched it like for 30 seconds. And the reason I don't like certain of the live DVDs that are available is because they show the audience for the whole show. I prefer they show Paul for the whole show and stop skipping around to people in the audience jumping up and down like they won the lottery or something. I understand that people get very happy at these shows, but the thing is that if you're going to be showing the concert, it would be nice if they could focus the camera on Paul for more than 3 seconds, and then, and so we can see him actually perform a full song without having to constantly clip. And this is what a lot of these videos do. So, I don't know if that style of clipping, the audience has gone out of style, but I'm not suggesting you buy anything that's illegal at all. But there are other videos out there that are quite, I didn't mean to say out there. This is the one-on-one tour anyway, or whatever we're talking about. But yeah, so for the 2009 concert, that I didn't like the way it was filmed. But there are certain videos that you can buy legally that might be a little bit better, where you can actually see the actual stuff that's going on stage. So I do apologize if you didn't like this blog, but it was, I guess it became more about George Martin, and personally I'm just as sad as everyone else, I think. And I think it's been pretty much made a very strong point that he was truly the fifth Beatle, and there's just never going to be anybody like George Martin. So, for SA65, hopefully I will be writing it, but at the moment, I've just been really, really, really busy, and I apologize. It's just I can't write when I've got writer's block at the moment. I figured I might as well just talk one out. So, thank you all so much for your support of the blog by visiting it, which is wonderful, and thank you for joining all the other little groups that are with it. And we'll connect soon. So, thanks a lot. Bye, everyone. Now we're going to even try to stop the blog. Hello. All right. See now.